student. Welcome to Strivage IAS. Dear student, today we are going to see about 2nd June, the newspaper analysis. So first important news is Bangladesh tribunal indict the farmer Sheikh Hasina. Okay, there is a recently turmoil going on in the Bangladesh. So first they remove the because of there is a severe protest in the Bangladesh. So Sheikh Hasina ji was removed or resigned from the post of prime minister. Then later on they take asylum in India. So recently, the International Crime Tribunal of Bangladesh Sunday indict former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for ordering police action against the protester last year. So directed the authority to produce her before the tribunal in Dhaka. So why it is important? Because Bangladesh is a neighbor country, and the Sheikh Hasina ji ne played very important role in improving relationship between India and Bangladesh. So because of that, it is quite important for us to learn that. Okay. So next we'll see the arrest warrant warrant issue. So ICT, the Domestic War Crime Tribunal set up by the Hasina government in 2010 has issued warrant to arrest Hasina and former Home Minister. Okay, so Mr. Hasina had overseen a systemic attack against the common people who were demanded that she should be stepped down from the power. So this is what said by the ICT. Okay, so this is the news about that. So not much important, just you need to know that in Bangladesh there is severe turmoil, so which is going to impact. So next is Northeast India battered by the rain, lakhs affected. Yes, so this can be, you can give an example, during the monsoon, what kind of problem we are facing. So you can give example of, Assam. Assam is mostly affected by the flood during the monsoon because, Assam is located between, here it is Himalaya, here it is some small mountain in between Assam is located. So high, like swept flowing river are coming from the Himalaya. Here is also, there is a fast moving river is also coming. So because of that, too much of water are concentrated in a few areas. So due to that reason, so Assam and Northeast is having huge problem of flooding. Okay, so that is all about this news. So one thing you can study about NDRF. So dear student, just make some note of NDRF. So National Disaster Response Force. So they are established under which act? What are the function? How the NDRF is formed? Okay, so what are the role of NDRF? So you need to just need to know about something like that. Not much, not more than that. Dear student, you can join our Dronacharya mentorship program. So it is a complete package of mentorship that include prelims test series, daily answer writing, then expert guidance, one-on-one mentorship, weekly session. Then we are also going to provide you summary video of each and every day targets as well as summary notes, so that there is no FOMO. You will have a structured way of preparation. So next article, Simhasta Kumbh Melas to begin October 2024. So Nasik, Triambakeshwar. So dear student, please write comment in the comment box. Triambakeshwar, which river is originate? Okay, which river is originate from the Triambakeshwar? So Simhasta Kumbh Mela will begin from the October with a traditional flag hosting Triambakeshwar and Ramkund in Nashik. Okay, so that is all about this news. So you just need to know about the mapping, which river is originate from the Triambakeshwar. Okay. So next, Kerala government accused the center bias over appropriation of the foreign aid to the Maharashtra. So recently, under Foreign Contribution Regulation Act (FCRA), the central government grant permissions to the Maharashtra government to receive the foreign aid. But while same thing when Kerala suffered the flood, so at that time center denied them the central foreign funds. So because of that, Kerala is opposing. So Kerala Finance Ministry Sunday accused the union government bias of allocating Maharashtra to accept foreign aid for its chief minister disaster relief fund. Okay, so Kerala had been denied the permission to accept aid from outside the country in the aftermath of devastating 2018 flood. The center had denied permission despite the offer assistance from the abroad. So during the Kerala flood, there are so many people who are ready to contribute, but center not given the permission. It was important that centers are all state on an equal footing. Yes, it is very important for a cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism, just by preaching cooperative federalism, will not ensure cooperative federalism. We have to practice cooperative federalism. Though states are ruled by opposition state or opposition party, we have to ensure cooperative federalism. If Kerala felt that even moment of great crisis, there was a discrimination among the states. Okay? So the remark come close to the heel of the Union Ministry of Home Affairs granting the foreign contribution regulation registrations to Maharashtra Chief Minister Relief Disaster Relief Fund. So that they can receive the foreign aid. So next is no art after landslide. So even the finance ministry also accused that despite having severe Wayanad landslide, so prime minister despite visit not allowed any kind of fund. So it is political news are not much important for us. You can give this complaint as a how it is impacting our cooperative federalism. So I have seen so many people they just simply skip all these things, but you have to understand this example whenever you write in your mains examination, it will give you very good marks as compared to other students, because your answer will be more exam oriented, it's more application oriented. Okay. So next we'll see, and the heel was conquer how NDA first 17 women cadet surmount the odds. So it is talking about how the journey of first batch of 17 women cadet in the NDA. So Jasmine, one of the 17 first batch of women to graduate from the military joint service training institute in the Khadak Wala, Maharashtra. It took 148 courses and 70 year and Supreme Court verdict for policy to change. So women could enter the academy. So she graduated over 300 men who all joined the service either in army, air force or navy. Okay. So just have some look about evolution how women are allowed. So Supreme Court has ruled in favor of just 1 month before based on the petition the petition has argued that NDA have been violated the women right to equality and right to practice professional choice. Because you cannot deny women not to enter into NDA just because they are women or just because they are gender based discrimination. So on that basis, Supreme Court said that no, we have to give equal chance to everyone. So this is decision come after 3 decades of women serving the Indian Armed Forces through the short commission service. So women are allowed, but they can serve only short commission service. They cannot be permanent service where they were served for 10 years with an extension. However, women have always been part of the medical, education, legal and other service of military in non-combat roles. So women are there, but they are for non-combat roles. So women fighter pilot have been inducted into Air Force in 2016. You can see very recently they are inducted. So however, the army still does not permit women in the fighting arm like infantry. So still fighting in fighting they are not allowed. Okay. So after the 3 year of rigorous physical training and academic courses, cadet will go through further training at least a year. Academy cadet will go through Dehradun in Indian Military Academy, जिसको हम बोलते हैं IMA. Air Force cadet will trained at Air Force Academy कहाँ दुंदीगाल. ठीक है. Naval cadet will go to the Naval Academy कहाँ ये Ichimala. So it's in Kerala. So physical training is one of the most major element of the NDA 3 year course, and it's offer considered to be toughest component. Okay? Physical training is very toughest because those who are you can say after completion of their courses they are going to fight in the real battle. So we need to train them. There is a very good quote: the more you sweat in peace, less you bleed in war. So that is the reason we have to train them. Okay. So then next is Saliska tiger. Saliska tigress give birth to 4 calves. So not much important, but one thing we can study about Saliska tiger reserve. This is a good occasion. If there is any news related to any national parks, any tiger reserve, we need to know about that. Along with that, few information. But you should not spend too much of time. At max 10 minutes, not more than that. So in a bush to tiger conservation effort, Rajasthan Saliska tiger reserve gave birth to 4 calves. So not much important. Apart from that, you can just have look what kind of what are the key fact about the Sariska Tiger Reserve. Sariska Tiger Reserve located in Aravali Hill form a part of Alwar district of Rajasthan. It was declared as a wildlife sanctuary in 1955 and declared as a tiger reserve in 1978, making it part of India Project Tiger. So tell me in the comment box when Project Tiger is implemented. Like started tell me the date of starting of this project Tiger. So it encompasses the ruined temple, forts and pavilions and palaces. So there is a fort called Kankarwadi Fort is located in the center of this reserve. It is said that Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb had imprisoned his brother Dara Sikh at this fort in the struggle for succession in the throne. So it has housed the famous temple Lord Hanuman and Pandu Pole related to Pandavas. Okay? So what kind of flora and fauna here found? It is characterized by the rocky landscape, arid, soft thrown forest, grassland, cliff and semi-deciduous forests are found. So it is dominated by dhok tree. So dhok tree you can just see in Google. Google it, will find it. Salar, Kadaya, okay. So these kind of trees are found supported by diverse area of other animal like Royal Bengal tiger, leopard, then sambar, cheetal, nilgai, four-horn antelope, wild. These, so you need to study about what kind of species found there. So you can see here the number of tiger reserves of the Rajasthan. So let's see other tiger reserves. So what are the protected area of the Rajasthan? So Desert National Park Jaisalmer, Kieladio in the Bharatpur. So next is Ranthambore. Next is Sajjangarh. Next is National Chambal Sanctuary. So next is Ramgarh Bisdari. So this is the fourth tiger reserve of Rajasthan. So recently added. So this Kieladio is also famous for Ramsar site. So just read that, you'll understand. So one more important thing, Telangana form a backwardness index with caste survey data. So Telangana try to form a backwardness index like a number on the basis of the caste census. So that by looking into that number, we can say that how much a particular caste is backward. So in what to be a parameters paradigm shift in the India's approach to social justice, the Telangana government acting on a caste survey conducted in the state is to gauge the backwardness of the caste on the scale of 0 to 126 independent of their population size. So 11-member expert committee formed under the former Supreme Court judge's name is B. Sudarshan Reddy. So set up to government to analyze and interpret data from this survey. Like whatever data we'll get in the survey, we'll do analysis and find a index. So on that basis, we can find the backwardness. The new concept composite backwardness index to quantify scientifically backwardness of the caste. So we'll find that which caste is backward and how much backward. The foundation of the survey report is huge data compiled over 3.5 crore residents of the Telangana who has responded to 74 questions covering aspect ranging from the education, income, household, and experience of discrimination. So all this data can be used to compile this index. So next the first of its kind metrics design and use in the world to objectively evaluate social and economic disparity and evaluating Telangana most exhaustive caste related survey in India history with a big task. Okay? So the landmark Mondal Commission survey conducted in 1980 covering only 50 lakh people. So here this survey can give a 360-degree picture about the condition of the people. So each caste was ranked on a scale of 0 to 126 point with the highest score the greater level of the backwardness. Data were analyzed through quantile distribution placing every caste on one of the fourth bracket based on their aggregate score. So the report and expected to be submitted to the chief minister. So you can say that this is a very good initiative, or it's a good initiative that we can replicate in other state if it is successful to find a index. Okay? So it is called backwardness index. So if that is successful, we can replicate in other state as well. Okay, dear student, let's move to the last page. So this is a very good, interesting topic. So Elon Musk written plan to fly Starship to the Mars in 2026 despite his setback. So this is what happened. Even you people, like some of you have given prelims. There might be might be missed by 1 marks, 2 marks. But setbacks should not be come in your way. Rather, you should learn from your failure and move ahead. So you can learn this value from this Elon Musk. Okay. So today, after the latest sting of test flight setback for his big news Mars spacecraft Starship, Elon Musk said that on May 29, he foresees the futuristic vehicle making its first on-crew voyages to the red planet at the end of next year. So first, we have on-crew mission, means a mission or a space vehicle without having any human being. First, we are going to have a vehicle without having any human being. So Elon Musk presented a detailed Starship development timeline in a video posted online in the Los Angeles-based rocket company. Okay? So scale back his role in the government to focus more attention in the various business, including SpaceX and electric car and battery maker of Tesla. So recently Elon Musk was quite involved in the Donald Trump administration, but now he decided to step back and focus more on the business. So Elon Musk acknowledged that his latest timeline for reaching Mars hinge on the whether Starship can accomplish a number of challenging technical feats during the flight test development, particularly at the post-launch, refueling maneuver in each orbits. So at the end of the 2026, which is coincides with a slim window that occur once in every 2 years, when Mars and Earth align around the Sun for close trip between the two planets, which could be seems 7 to 9 months to transit by. Okay, like there are once in a chance where Mars, Sun, Mars and are such a position that you can easily travel to Earth to Mars in a very less amount of fuel, or without undergoing complex movement. Okay, so the first flight must be carry a simulated crew consisting of one or two robot of Tesla built humanoid Optimus design. With the first human crew following the second or third landing, Musk said that he envisioned that eventually landing 1,000 to 2,000 ships to the Mars every 2 years to quickly establish self-sustaining permanent human settlement. So just imagine the what kind of vision to establish permanent settlement in the Mars. So NASA is currently aiming to return human to the surface of the moon. ठीक है, aboard the Starship around 2027, more than 50 years after its last manned lunar mission landing on Apollo era. ठीक है, so as a stepping stone to ultimately launching astronauts to Mars sometime in 2030. So you can see that despite the failure, it is the Elon Musk who can stand very strong and have a belief that he can launch again in 20, within next 1 year or two. So Indian summer, Indian summers are getting hotter, and but we have lost the ability to adapt. Okay, so it's a very good article. So India once know how to live with heat. Yes, we know that our mud house, there are the house cover with the rice straw. So they are very environmental friendly. From mud house to sandstone courtyard, people design space that cooled by default. But work began at the sunrise and pause during the peak time and resume in the evening. People wake up in the early, they start walking, and during the peak time they take rest, and after evening they start again doing work. In city, in city, water cooled courtyard, step wells, and screen created a microclimates. So so we can see. So dear student, whatever I am writing in the box, always note down. This is for your notes. So according to the Indian Meteorological Department, a heat wave is declared when temperature reach at least 40 degrees Celsius in the plain area. If a plain area, if temperature is more than 40 degrees, you can say it a heat wave. And in the plain area or 30 degrees Celsius in the hill area with a deviation 4.5 degrees Celsius more than above normal for at least two consecutive days. So these threshold once rare are quickly becoming standard during the summer season. So these actually heat wave are very rare in the summer earlier days, but now they are occurring very frequently. So the state like Odisha and Rajasthan that use the brief season, brief seasonal heat spike now stretch longer, more frequent episode. Like these heat wave used to be very few days, like 1 or day, 2 day. Now they are very long and they are stretching for long duration of time. Okay? So heat wave days count total number of days on which heat wave condition are recorded across all the regions. Since heat wave strike different places at different time, these days are some nationally. So total maybe surpass the length of the summer season in any single locations. Okay? So excess mortality analysis. Though heat wave is a very severe issue, but India still not have proper methods to record the heat, heat related mortality. So because that there is a severe underestimation. So India record 20,615 heart stroke death according to the government report. However, many heart related fatality occur outside the hospital, at homes, construction sites or village farm, example where medical assistance and formal death certificate may not always be accessible. As a result, there is a underreporting. So next is absence of standardized, mandatory heat-related death reporting and real-time surveillance means many deaths remain uncounted, creating challenges for public health planning and response. When you don't know how much amount of people are, how the number of people died because of sunstroke or heat stroke, then how can we expect that our administration they can create, or our government can create, measure to control this problem? So first we need to measure. Okay. So then we need to develop this living with heat. The 2022 heat wave reduced the wheat yield in key producing region approximately 4.5. So you can see that with increasing temperature, the yield, the productivity of our agriculture is going to decline. So you can note down this. With some district experiencing loss up to 15%. This disruption contribute to the inflationary pressure on the food commodity worldwide. When there is a less production of the food while demand are constant, obviously that leads to severe inflation. So simultaneously, heat wave trigger a power crisis in electricity as demand surge all time high. So when there is a high heat, so people tends to use AC, fridge, and cooler. So because of that high demand, when there is a high demand but supply is less, so that led to the blackout of some area. So labor productivity at outdoor area, ठीक है, outdoor such as construction and agriculture suffered dramatically. जैसे आप आपको पता होगा, like during your exam time, because of high heat, you will like sometimes you are not able to perform well. So heat is also impact like that, okay. So edge worker faces a impossible choice between enduring hazard heat and exposure and forfeit the income, like if you don't work in the heat, you will not get income. So the worker don't have any other option but to work in the high temperature. So there is a good data that is given, so you can note down that. So, according to the McKinsey Global Institute, heat-related productivity loss could jeopardize between 2.5 to 4.5 of India's GDP by 2030, underscoring urgent need to adopt the policy. So, here one more thing you can note down. So, dear student, I am giving this fact for the mains. So, whatever I am writing in the box, so they are very important for the mains. So, please note down your answer. So, that is more than important. Okay. So, next. Ironically, India knew how to live with heat, from mud house of Odisha to sandstone courtyard of Rajasthan. So generation designed to play school without electricity. So our ancestors, they know how to live with heat, but now we are forgetting everything. Rural routine follow solar rhythm, like they walk begin at the sunrise, pause during the peak heat, and resume in the evening. So architecture use breathable material like lime, thatch, mud, keeping the home cooler. Then today concrete structure in cities, water cooled courtyard, shadow alloy, ठीक है, step well, बाउली जिसको हम बोलते हैं, perforated stone screen जिसको हम बोलते हैं, जाली created microclimate. This system were not folklore, they were practical response to the climate condition embedded in culture and community. So जो भी हम देखते हैं ना सराउंडिंग में, it is because of culture. कोई यहाँ पर जिस मान लीजिए नॉर्दर्न इंडिया, we are seeing something, it is not culture but it is a response to the climate, how they are adopting, okay. If you go to Rajasthan, you will see some unique adoption. If you go to Uttar Pradesh, you will find some unique adoption, okay. So the traditional wisdom is nap tapa, meaning 9 days of heat. So nap tapa align closely with modern heat wave date. So this time community advised to avoided heavy meals, rested during the midday, drank hydrated mix with buttermilk and sattu, and to avoid said what, like provided shades and water for livestock. This practice, while actually grounded in the reflect in psychological and environmental sense. So we can say that in our practice, these how we are going to protect from the heat is embedded, but we are not responding to that. So that is what is the current problem. So next is, while culturally grounded, ठीक है, reflect sound, psychological and environmental sense. Why did this traditional win, मतलब why this tradition were vanishing out? Not because they were ineffective, but because modern development model evolved differently. So post liberation planning favors speed and scale, often overlook climate sensitivity, like because of rapid urbanization we don't care about proper environmental protection. So labor shifted from the flexible agriculture cycle to more rigid and outdoor inform urban job planning. Planning code like national building code don't mandate passive cooling. Now in Delhi, you know that how buildings are very closely packed without proper ventilation. So because of that, it required huge amount of cooling. The next is real estate finance rarely support traditional material without institutional support or economic incentive. These particular, okay, can be sustained. So it's a very good article about heat related. So read, you'll get a lot of things. So invisible death, Indian formal response to the heat gradually evolving. Notable, there is a very good action plan that is called Ahmedabad Heat Action Plan, implemented in 2014, has been associated with significant reduction in the heat related mortality. So you can note down this and give as a model initiative, that is Ahmedabad Heat Action Plan. So cities such as Bhubaneswar and Nagpur initiated effort to increase the green cover and promote a rooftop measure aiming at reducing heat absorption. However, the heat action plan remain largely advisory, often lacking binding mandates. Okay? A dedicated budget or clean accountability mechanism. Only few cities have appointed, trained climate officer or integrated heat consideration to their urban mastery. So public cooling, like we need have to have shelter. So all these things. So in rural landscape, though despite these things, so we don't have the planning, like the gram panchayat development plan, Mahatma Gandhi national rural employment barely touches on the heat issue. They don't care about, because they don't have money, they don't have awareness. Okay, unlike city, villagers have no counterpart to the urban heat action, often struggle with limited funding, shifting. Okay, so you can write all these things, why we are not able to find solutions to this heat wave. So many rural deaths remain invisible, deprive policymaker of crucial data. So communicating hit risk. So we need to communicate to our people directly in a, so that we can take action. When thermometer say 42 degrees Celsius, the body increase. So in that case, we need to reach out to the people and communicate them faster way. Okay. So next is so can start rolling out heat action plan tailoring to their reality grounded by disaster management act. So we can use the disaster management act to roll out the heat action plan. So same we can use the scheme like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, then Manrega, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Yojana, then National Health Mission offer canvas to climate sensitivity embedded in our developmental program. Okay. So we can say that the 15th Finance Commission and District Mineral Fund can be used for construction of this heat related infrastructure. Okay. So okay, so this is all about this article of how we are going to protect our India from the heat wave. So next we are going to see about Iran vow to retaliate if Europe exploit the UN nuclear report. So Iran on Sunday warned that it could retaliate if European power have threatened to impose nuclear sanction, exploit the UN report showing Tehran has stepped off production of highly enriched uranium. So report by the International Atomic Energy Agency. I have already discussed about about IAEA in our previous lecture. IAEA, please watch that lecture as well. Okay. So according to the report that Iran has sharply increasing the stockpile of uranium enrichment up to 60%, close to roughly 90% level required for the weapon grade. So already Iran is having 60%, but 90% is required for the weapon grade. So it is very close to the achieving weapon grade nuclear uranium. According to 2015 agreement, there is an agreement signed between P5, that is the permanent member of Security Council, plus German. According to that agreement, so Iran should forego all this activity, and then and in return, this P5 plus 1, they will ensure that there should be peaceful access to the technology to the Iran. So in 2015 agreement referred to the Britain, French and German. Okay, so parties from exploiting the nuclear buster. So we'll see about this agreement. So this agreement is called Joint Comprehensive Plans of Action, JCPOA. JCPOA. So what is it? Also known as Iran Nuclear Deal. It's an agreement between Iran, uh, UK, China, French, German, Russia, and USA. So these are called P5 plus 1. This one is German. German is not a permanent member of UN Security Council. To limit Iran nuclear program in exchange for sanction relief. It was endorsed by United Nations Security Council. So JCPOA aimed to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapon by restricting uranium enrichment, limiting number of centrifuges. Centrifuge means the natural uranium that we are found, it is only having 0.7% fissile material. So we need to enrich to have a fissile reaction. So to enrich that we use centrifuge and allowing for international inspection for nuclear facility. So these are the objective of JCPOA. So again, the Bangladesh Supreme Court allowed Jamaati Islam to contest election. So why it is a cause of concern? Past whenever the Khiladajia, the Bangladesh National Party, the like government formed at that time. So because of this party inclinations to the hardliner, so there is a increasing terrorist activity in the northeast and Bengal region. So that is the reason it is a cause of concern for India. Bangladesh Supreme Court on Sunday ordered that election commissions to restore the right-wing Jamaat Islam party register early 8 months after interim government, lift a ban on the clearing way for its participation in the future election. Okay? So that means Jamaati Islam can participate in the election. So Supreme Court scrapped the registration of Jamaat, which opposed the Bangladesh liberation in 1971 from Pakistan in December 2018, line with the High Court ruling. So next it is talking, they also ban the Sheikh Hasina government. So former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina government slap a total ban on the party day ahead of the his removal. Okay, that means the Sheikh Hasina cannot contest in the Bangladesh election. And then Bangladesh also issue banknote without Mujib portrait. So Mujibur Rahman is the founder of the Bangladesh. They are called as father of the Bangladesh. Okay, Bangladesh on this Sunday issue a new banknote to replace the design feature its founding president, the father of the ouster prime minister Sheikh Hasina. So Sheikh Hasina का father का नाम क्या है? मुजीबर रहमान. ठीक है. So South Asian nations, some of the 170 million people have run by caretaker government since Hasina fled. So those trial open Sunday. Okay, they try to crush the uprising against our government. Okay, all notes feature the portrait. All notes feature the portrait of her father, late Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who led the Bangladesh during its independence movement from Pakistan until soldier assassinated him, and most of his family members were died killed in the coup except the Sheikh Hasina was him, like, because he was not there at that time, so because of that she's like otherwise all family member like the military killed all other family member, but because of outside she saved her life. So next we'll see, dear student, this is a very good initiative. Those who are giving next year exam, so you can just click this link to practice the exam on a real time to understand how exam is and what is your score. So accordingly you can understand your preparation level. So this is you can check your, like it's a real time examination of the UPSC paper we are designing the application. Just click this link, you will open that and attempt the test. So dear student, you can scan this QR code and join our telegram. We are also conducting regular podcast in this Saturday or Sunday, so you can join that there. So no need to fear of COVID-19 thanks to acquired immunity through vaccination. This is said by Soumya Swaminathan. So already either we have taken the vaccine or we have natural infection because of COVID, past COVID infection. So we are naturally having immunity. So no need to worry about that, because whenever you have internal immunity, so in case of any further infection, so we can easily tackle that. So next is Air India. So Air India looking to replace the aircraft maintenance pact with the Turkish arm. So after the Turkish government, Turkish government support to the Pakistan. So this drastic step taken by the all Indian farm people, they boycotted the Turkey. So this is a lesson we need to teach to the Turkey. So next is GST collection remain above 2 trillion in the May. So the gross collection have touched record 2.37 lakhs crore in the April. Growth is not uniform across the state. Revenue from the import higher those from the domestic transaction. So our GST collection is increasing very rapidly, so it is more than 2 lakhs, so which is more than enough as per the estimate by the government. So that means our tax are growing rapidly and very fast, so that means there is a scope for government to further reduce the tax rate in the GST. Okay, so GST collection crossed the 2 trillion marks in the month. So we can see here. So if growth continue, if this range for the next couple of months, it might provide caution for the government took rate rationalization on which a lot of work have been done. So if that continue, then government might be provide reduction in the rate. So India and European Union set to conduct joint naval exercise. So what is that name? Indian Navy and European naval forces will conduct, उसका नाम है UNAV 4. That means Europe Naval Force will joint exercise at the sea soon. So exercise will be, so the complex tactical exercise at the aim at enhancing the interoperability between two sides and enabling seamless operation when deployed for combat non-traditional threats such as piracy, smuggling in Indian Ocean region. देखो, if you just read this kind of word, so they can ask something, what are the objective of this mission, what are the objective of joint joint military exercise. If this kind of word is given in the examination, you can easily ignore. So that is the reason we need to study sometime. Okay, then boosting the operation. So both the naval forces also took part in the harbor engagement. Both sides agree on the need for extended cooperation in the military domain, and meeting was stepping stone for expanding avenue of cooperation between the Indian Navy and European naval force, because they are don't like European Union, they are not trusting on the USA because of Donald Trump behavior. So they want a stable partner in the Asia Pacific, and India can be a stable partner. Okay, so that is the reason they want to have a military exercise with India. So dear student, to get this infographics edition, simply scan this QR code. You will join our application, then tap on the UPSC section. In like there is a section called infographics already, not UPSC section. There is a section called infographics. Within that, you can get this PDF. Okay, so politics should not offset bid to project united front against the terrorism. So this is a very good statement given by the Salman Khurshid ji. So whatever may be our political inclination, whatever may be our orientation, we should always stand against the terrorism. Terrorism is a terrorism. Okay, we should not compromise that on any count. So dear student, our free mentorship program is going on. Here you can get daily targets at the morning, and we are also providing current affair like 4 page. We are also providing infographics, free supply of free. We are providing the PYQ of both GS and CSAT. Also we are providing the NCRT test. So you can scan this QR code to join our free mentorship program. Then India won foreign law. India won to foreign law firm, but concern simmer. So recently Bar Council of India, which is the top regulating body in the law, advocate case. So they allow the foreign firm to come into India, but that create fear among the local advocates and so that is the reason it is in quite a news. So just read that, you will find it. So Supreme Court order protect the Jagi Basudev personality right. So the Delhi High Court has passed an order protecting personality right and publicity right of Sadguru Jagi Basudev, the founder of Isha Foundation, and restrain various rogue websites from misusing his personality trait by deploying AI intelligence. Okay? The court passed interim order in favor of Mr. Basudevan in his suit seeking protection from his personal right from infringement by rogue website and unknown entity. So that means the first time Delhi High Court recognized the right of the personality. Okay? Right of the personality. So Vasudev has acquired uniqueness and pertain to his personality in relation to his voice, name, signature, image, likeness, vocal articulation style, and unique attire and look and appearance. So because of that, it need to be protected. Okay. So next is in two decades, Election Commission, revise the voter list for 19th, June 19 by poll. So first time in nearly 2 decades, Election Commission revised the voter list 5 constituency for holding assembly election, the spotless electoral roll. So it is the responsibility to ensure that there should be continuous, there should be continuous updation of the electoral roll. Citing the provision of Representation of People Act 1950, so officials said that electoral roll was revised before every election and by poll unless otherwise directed by the Election Commission. Okay.